Okay, I just wanted to hop on and make a quick video for you to show you some of the basic calculators and spreadsheet and Desmos tools that were shown in class in case you're trying to review and can't quite remember. So there's some basic things that we often do in this class, and so for example, a basic linear problem may be something like there's a word problem and you start with 10 of something and then maybe you increase by 5, right? Keep increasing by 5, keep increasing by 5, and you can do this and keep track of it. And let's say you wanted to demonstrate your work, you wanted to show your work. Well, here's how you would do it in a calculator. You'd put like a 10 here, and then you would say equals A1 plus 5, all right? And then you would take this cell and drag it down, all right? And in order to show me that you did that, you could do this on your paper. You could say A1, and you could put a 10 here, and then you could say enter 10. I'm having trouble drawing straight, sorry. And then you could say enter equals A1 plus 5. And then so it's going to be a 15. But see, you're telling me that you're working in a spreadsheet and that you entered something that was a 10, and this you entered equals A1 plus 5, and a 15 showed up. Then you can put a little square, and then you can say drag down. And if you wanted to drag down a great distance, so maybe you want to drag this down further, maybe it goes all the way down to 30. I'm just making that up. Okay, whatever the problem tells you, then you can give me some waypoints every so often. So maybe you give me a waypoint at 12. Just say like 12 is 65. So 12 is 65, and 30, maybe the question had you go up to 30 for whatever reason. So put some dots or some arrows or something there so I know you dragged it. And then 30 is 155. So you say 155. And that's how you would tell me. This is called showing your work. This is how you're telling me what you did. And again, you could just, by putting a little box here, I know what you mean. I know there's a little handle there. And when you say drag down, I know you're dragging on that handle. Now, if you're deciding to use a calculator, how would you demonstrate your work then? Okay, so let's move over to a calculator. Okay, so you could say 10 plus 5 equals, I'm just going to hit enter. I did that wrong. I'm trying to learn how to use this one. 10 plus 5. Aha, I just hit enter. That's how I was supposed to do that. Answer means to drag the answer from the previous. There we go. So that's what I want. I want answer plus 5. Then I hit enter. And then I hit answer plus 5, enter. And what if I keep hitting enter? Then it keeps going up. Okay, so the way I would notate that, and this is the way a standard calculator works. So the way you'd notate this on your paper, if you're a calculator user, you would say enter 10, then, or you could just start by 10 plus 5. 10 plus 5 equals, so you tell me you're hitting these buttons or entering, and then answer is 15. And most calculators you would say plus 5 equals, but in this Desmos you'd say answer plus 15 equals 20, and then you hit equals 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 is 25, 30, 35. And so you could just go dot 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 equals 155, after 30 months or whatever, after 30 months or whatever the units are. There's going to be a word problem. So it could be 30 days, 30 months, I don't care. But that's what you would do. You would do something to show me how you got the process started, and then I would know that you're using a calculator, and I will grade it the same way. It's just that what shows up on your screen is going to be slightly different because you're using different technology. Okay? Now, what about if you're doing an exponential type of thing? So you're going to have the same process, but the formula is going to be slightly different. So what if instead of adding 5, I'm going to multiply by 1.15? So you're going to increase by 15% each time, let's say. And let's see what happens. Now I'm going to have to go back and click where the correct formula is and re-drag it to show you it's going to make a difference. Okay? I can stretch this a little bit. Just click away so I can try to drag this. Okay? There we go. And so similarly, this is the way you would do some kind of exponential problem. And you would not copy all those digits. If this is like way too many digits. If you're doing something like this, I would say keep 2 or maybe 3 digits tops if you're writing. So you're telling me the first few answers you get. And again, if you're on a spreadsheet, you probably tell me something in the middle and then something at the end. So I know. Okay, so I know what you're getting so that I can double check your work and see if there's some error that you made by just counting the number of cells wrong, as opposed to really misunderstanding the question. So those are just alignment cues you're giving me, so I can give you your star if I can trace your error and it's minor. Okay? The combination questions are the ones where, for example, let's say, I'm just going to make something up, let's say you owe $10,000 for something, and you're going to be charged interest. So it's going to say like equals E1 times whatever your interest rate is, 1.02 or something like that. But you can either put your payment right here or in the next column. It doesn't really matter. Let's say you want to just do it all right here. You can say I'm going to pay off $250. I hope it's going to actually work. And then I'm going to bring down for the next month, I'm going to say equals F1. And over here I'm going to say, actually it's the same formula as what I used above, but it's down by 1. All right, so at least it looks like that I am starting to pay off the loan. Maybe the question is, how long is it going to take me to pay off the loan? So I could do something like this and see if I'm paying off the loan. Gosh, that's messy. It's taking a long time to pay off that loan. But you see what I'm doing. So that's the general gist of it. And you're going to have to expand these a little bit if you want to see the columns. Again, they're just using a lot of digits on you. And so that's why it's looking really messy. Okay, but it's all there. And you can see that if you keep dragging that thing down, you'll eventually pay off your loan. You've paid off 1/3 of it. So I'm hopeful that we will pay it off pretty soon. Okay, so you could just keep dragging those down and getting those. So again, if you're going to go from here to here, you're just going to copy the new number down. But there's another way to do it, right? You could do it in one single column. You could put the 10,000 here, and then directly underneath you could put the next formula. You could say equals H1 times whatever your interest rate is minus, I'll pay this one off faster. Okay, so if you're going to do everything directly below, you can just have a single column and do it that way. Oh good, I paid that one off much faster. Okay, it's all dependent on how fast you can, pay off your loan, right? Let's see, this one got paid off. It's basically what it's saying is in month 23, you owe $211, but your very last payment is not going to be $500 or whatever it's been, your last payment will be different, and you're only going to pay $211.37 as your last bill. Okay, so that's how you would read that. Also, Desmos. I wanted to show you, we did this in class. We had some lines. I don't remember what they were, but it was some U-Haul problem where one was like 30 plus x, and one was something like 20 plus 1.2x, and nothing showed up, right? But you have to kind of zoom out until they show up and move this around and find out where they intersect. All right, so you should be able to see where they intersect. Again, I don't remember if this was the exact problem we did yesterday, but if you're trying to show me that you are, you usually say y equals, but I guess you didn't have to. That's pretty cool. But if you're trying to show me that you just did this in Desmos, then the way you would do this is you'd say Desmos, and then if you put this little curly thing, I know that you typed in one of these formulas or expressions. So you can say something like y is equal to 30 plus x, y is equal to 20 plus 1.2x, and then you can say they cross over here at 50, 80. Okay, and sometimes it's not exact, and that's okay. In this class, most problems, if I ask you for an exact answer, I'll tell you, most of the questions are going to be, in this case, it landed right on an integer, but if it doesn't land on an integer, you're going to have to just approximate. Okay, so in an exam, you can always ask me if this is something that needs to be exact or not. Okay, so that's how you would use Desmos in this way. And is that everything I promised I would tell you? I think so. Basic calculator use, basic spreadsheet use, Desmos. We did some linear, exponential, and combination problems. Yep, that's basically what I wanted to cover in this video. Hope that helps.